The Czech Republic, a country situated in the very heart of Europe, is for the most part surrounded by mountains which form the border with neighbouring countries. The Czech mountains will draw you in with their diversity, beauty and romance at all times of the year. Join us on a tour of this world of wilderness, hills, brooks and reservoirs. There's nothing to worry about. The Mountain Rescue Service has been here since 1935 and it will help you should you ever find yourself in a dangerous situation. Just call 1210. The Mountain Rescue Service organises and carries out search and rescue operations in the mountains, provides first aid, transports injured persons and takes care of the operation of Mountain Rescue Service stations. This means that it's available to you at any time, even in the least accessible places. Always abide by the instructions of Mountain Rescue Service staff and respect their warning and information signs. During peak season, Mountain Rescue Service staff attend to up to 175 cases every week. The Czech Mountain Rescue Service has developed the In the Footsteps of Jetik in the Czech Mountains project, with a European Union contribution from the Integrated Operational Programme. Set out in the footsteps of this mythical Himalayan snowman who wandered off and found himself in the Czech basin. The Jetik really took a liking to our beautiful mountains. He's hiked through them and left his tracks in all sorts of places. It's up to you to find those tracks. They come in the form of stamps that you can collect in your traveller's passport. So quickly, get to the nearest stamp collection point to pick up your passport and start collecting stamps, which you can then exchange for colourful badges. And you can even win a prize. For more information, see www.jetik.info. The Krušné hory are a 130-kilometre-long range of mountains on the border between northwestern Bohemia and the south of Germany's Saxony. In the past, the region was important due to ore extraction, but nowadays the mountains are deservedly becoming more and more popular. The local landscape will amaze you with its lively colours and fairy tale scenery. The tallest mountain of the Krušné hory is Klínovec, with an elevation of 1,244 metres. It's a friendly and easily accessible mountain. Accommodation can be found in the nearby picturesque town of Boží dar, which translates as God's gift, which features the Baby Jesus Christmas post office. Also, lovers of adrenaline winter sports will find something for themselves here as well. But the Krušné hory won't just reward you at Christmas time. You walk out of a mountain forest, but the path keeps leading you higher and higher until you reach an open plain with grass ever swirling in the wind. The country's highest range, reminiscent of the high Nordic mountains and tundra, is located in the heart of Central Europe. They stand tall above the surrounding landscape and are visible from half of Bohemia and Moravia. This range can be found in the Hradec Králové region. It's a paradise for all winter sports enthusiasts. There's something for downhill skiers, cross-country skiers, as well as snowboarders. Do you know which mountains we're talking about? A small hint. It's the home of the tallest mountain in the Czech Republic, the Sněžka, which reaches 1,602 metres above sea level. It's probably the most frequently visited mountain range in the country. Yes, you're right. It's the Krkonoše. These hills are not showy. Their slopes are mild. The countryside is peaceful, uncomplicated, and close to everyone who doesn't like running into crowds of tourists and who prefers quiet corners to the wilderness of modern tourism. The peaks of the Orlické hory roll gently, and only a few of them rise above 1,000 metres. But that doesn't mean that skiing wouldn't be possible here. In Rychnov nad Kněžnou, you can get a cold beer or fresh apple cider. Explore fortresses and the pre-war fortifications that were built in the run-up to 1938 to defend the Czechoslovak Republic. And if you're a bit more courageous, you can rock in a boat on the waves of the River Orlice, or get soaked in its rapids. The landscape is peaceful, but the history exciting. You should see it for yourselves. The characteristic feature of the Šumava Mountains is water. Nowhere in the Czech Republic can you find as many lakes and bogs as in the Šumava. The highest peak, Plechy, at 1,378 metres above sea level, stands directly above the glacial Plešné Lake. The first among hundreds of brooks in the area is the river Vltava, which starts here and not long after passes through the town of Český Krumlov, so popular with water sports enthusiasts. But there are also man-made waterways here. Perhaps you'll be interested in the Schwarzenberg Canal, built in the late 18th and early 19th century. The Lipno Reservoir on the upper Vltava is also a popular summer resort. You can go for a swim or for a bike ride, go water skiing or on a boat trip with your kids, and then sit down for a good meal and enjoy the atmosphere of peace and quiet. The Lisa Hora stands at 1,323 metres above sea level and dominates the colourful forests and Wallachian pastures. This is a place of freely flowing clouds, thoughts and time. Much of the landscape of the Beskidi looks more like a picturesque rural region filled with traditions than tough mountains, but that doesn't mean that time has stopped here. As in other mountain areas, you can set out in Jetik's footsteps and visit many natural and historical monuments. The Beskidi will embrace you and offer many ways to spend your time regardless of your age. A rugged region filled with forests and blooming valleys. Naked peaks look down into valleys through which creeks rush to 3 different seas. Rock formations that have been exposed to rain, ice and wind for millennia stand as quiet witnesses to the natural wild as well as historical events. The Jeseniki and their foothills are a mountain paradise with many natural, historical as well as technical treasures. In summer, the Jeseniki boasts hundreds of well-marked trails for hiking, climbing as well as biking. And popular winter resorts as well as spas, monuments and cultural events will convince you that the Jeseniki are worth visiting at all times of the year. A melancholic plateau in the north of Bohemia, with rock formations looking at their reflections in the dark waters of mountain bogs. An abundance of rain and snow gave birth to a number of creeks, and the peat bogs colour their waters golden. Get to know the Černá Reservoir that was built between 1902 and 1905. This is the highest reservoir in Bohemia. In winter, the Jezerské Hory boasts one of the most beautiful cross-country ski facilities, which transforms into an intricate network of hiking and biking trails in the summer. The Jezerské Hory Mountains offer something to a broad range of visitors, nature enthusiasts, active athletes, as well as families with children. Has our brief trip to the mountains captured your interest? Then don't hesitate to set out and explore their beauty. Go on foot, by bike, on a snowboard, skis, or however you want, and discover their beauty and diversity. Sometimes there might even be a burst of adrenaline, but believe us, it is worth it. Regardless of age, each of you can find something for yourselves here. So why not make your trip to the mountains more interesting by getting a guide? For example, our Jetik. Visit the sites and collect the stamps. Get to know the mountains of the Czech Republic.